Hello, guys. It's Wednesday, March 11th. We have a 6-game NBA slate for today. Still starting off with point guard Luka Doncic at 11K. He is going to be one of my core plays as of now. This is a back-to-back for the Mavericks, so Kristaps Porzingis, he hasn't played in one all year long, and I would expect him to continue resting. So then that makes Luka Doncic the clear number one option on this team. Like he already is, but just more usage, and there's gonna be a lot of value later on that we'll get to in the video at other positions. But against Denver, it's not that tough of a matchup as they used to be. The Nuggets defense, they've been really poor. It doesn't matter if they're home or away. The defense just isn't the same. Like they still have a lot of the guys that they had previous seasons, so it doesn't make sense. But for some reason it's just fallen off. Gary Harris, Jeremy Grant, a lot of these guys, they're capable defenders, but it's just not working for some reason. And so Doncic, with the usage, the price, it's too cheap for a guy that is going to be like a 40% usage kind of guy in this matchup, playing at home back to back. Doesn't really fear. I'm not really afraid of it. He's had some injuries, but the way that he played tonight, he shot just fine. So I'm perfectly fine going with him on this slate. Next, Trey Young, 10.4K. I'm interested in him too because it's Trey Young playing at home where he plays a lot better. With John Collins on the court, he plays pretty well as well. There are numbers that suggest he actually plays a lot better with Collins. So even though his price is 10.4, he's still going to be in play for tournaments because everyone should be going to Doncic here. The spot, it's also a very slow paced matchup, but he's the same type of player. I don't want to say the same type of player, but usage wise for fantasy purposes, they both have a really high ceiling. Obviously, Luka's a little bit higher because of the rebounding, but Trey Young, he's also just the clear number one option for his team. So he also makes sense for tournaments. Though I'm gonna have a lot more Doncic, obviously, and then other guys, Lonzo Ball, 7,900 point guard against Sacramento. Lonzo against Fox has been a thing just because they've been out of the same draft class. But Ball, he's said in the past that he's really healthy now. He's felt like the best that he has ever felt, and his price is up there now. Like he's more expensive than Fox, but like it's definitely deserving. Finally it loads. He's playing heavy minutes. The Pelicans, they still have a shot at the 8th seed technically. They're just running their starters heavy minutes, and now JJ Redick is out, so that helps all the minutes even more. And Alonzo just is a guy that does a little bit of everything. The Kings are playing at a faster pace. Lonzo, we know he just got the ball in his hands a lot. He's been shooting a lot better, especially from three. So with a 3 point bonus, being able to knock down more shots, shooting better, definitely is going to make him a lot better of a play. And then De'Aaron Fox, other side of the ball. This is a very nice matchup. We always like to target teams that are going up against the Pelicans. Kings definitely can keep this game close. Both of these teams, like, they got young, really solid young cores, but like it should be I would say it should be a close game. Fox 7,800. He's a guy that gets like around 4 DraftKings points. He hovers around that, but he certainly does have the upside for 50. I believe he's actually hit 60 a couple of times, so he definitely has the upside if he gets his minutes, which he should. There have been like some instances where he hasn't because he's been hurt a lot, and then there's some blowouts in there as well. So it's a perfect matchup. So I'm gonna like Fox. He's also the number one option. Just remains really affordable in a very great matchup. And then other guys, Devontae Graham and Terry Rozier, 7 and 6.9K. I prefer Graham because of the assists. Graham is more of the point guard here. Rozier plays more of the two. And Rozier is they're both pretty scoring dependent, but Graham just has a higher floor because of the assists that he gets, and you're only paying $100 more. Obviously, Rozier has shooting guard eligibility though, so that helps if you're building a lineup and you need it. But I just prefer Graham over Rozier. It is a tough matchup, very slow against the Heat. Hornets already play at a very slow pace. It's tough. I really don't like to chase players who had ceiling games, and Graham and Rozier both certainly had that. I think they're in a double OT game last time, and both of them just played really well against the Hawks. I just don't like playing guys again after a ceiling game, and it's definitely not the matchup to go, to expecting that they get a lot of points again. But the Hornets, they rely on Graham and Rozier. These two guys are the best options for the Hornets, and so I certainly expect both of them to still carry the highest usage. And if you really look at their prices, they're up, but they deserve it because Graham and Rozier, they're just the guys that have that kind of upside. I would say Graham, like he used to be like almost 8K, and so he just makes sense for a very solid play here still, but more so just for tournaments because he's going to be very low owned and it is a tough matchup. Obviously, if Jimmy Butler were to miss, it makes it easier, but still, Graham, Rozier, they just have really low floors. And then Alfred Payne, might as well talk about him with the whole Knicks on Tuesday. Yeah, they busted against the Wizards. It was a very nice matchup, and the Knicks just came out really flat. So their coach just pulled all their starters pretty much, and the bench put him in better position to win the game, and they played really well. And then Lakina, Bobby Portis. So that's why Payne and Randall just didn't get that many minutes. They were also both in foul trouble, so that definitely didn't hurt or didn't help either. But this is a very nice matchup once again against the Hawks, and Alfred Payne is a guy that can flirt with the triple double every time. Doesn't matter what the matchup is, and this is a very good matchup unless they decide to change their starting lineup, which I don't think they will. It's a back to back. These guys didn't play that many minutes, and it's another really good matchup. So, because a lot of people got burned by these guys, Payne and Randall, they're probably not going to be willing to go right back to them, but they're still both cheaper than they should be against the Hawks, which are a fantastic matchup. And then Goran Dragic 5,500 against the Hornets. This is only if Jimmy Butler is out. If Kendrick Nunn is out as well, then Dragic is going to be definitely a core play. But for now, I'm not going to include him because we don't know for sure that Butler's going to be out. This is just a very nice matchup because Hornets, they're not a good defensive team. They're obviously poor against point guards, but it is a slow pace, so keep that in mind. But I think that just because if Butler is out, that just that opens up a lot more usage. So it just makes Dragic a really good play. We know he's capable of getting you like 6, 7 assists a game. And if you get a good game, he can get you a steal or two, and then typical like 3 rebounds or so, I believe. Yeah. So Dragic, he's gonna get more shots as well. He's been shooting from 3 pretty well, so I like him if Butler is out. Mike Conley, same price, 5,500. If Butler is out, I'm just gonna go to Dragic and have like really little Conley. But if Butler does play, Conley gonna be more interested in him because he's the starting point guard, and that's definitely hurt Donovan Mitchell's assist numbers. But Conley, this spot against OKC isn't the greatest, but Conley still is too cheap. For a starting point guard who is playing starters minutes, low mid 30s, he has a very good floor because he's able to contribute in a lot of ways, and he definitely has a little bit over a 40-point ceiling as well. And I think Conley should be like a mid 6K player, which he's still very just too cheap. And then Brandon Knight, 4,900 against the Sixers. Very tough matchup, especially if Joel Embiid is back for this game. They're getting back Josh Richardson, so that's already a downgrade. But if a guy like Bruce Brown Jr. is out, that just means one less ball handler for the Pistons. And as bad as this team is, they still need players to go out there, handle the ball, and score. This is still an NBA team. They're going to be able to score points. And Brandon Knight, as a starting point guard, his minutes, they could be all over the place, but he definitely has a pretty good role on this team just because of the injuries and all the trades that they've done this year. So even in a tough matchup, he's still going to be in play. And then next is going to be Kendrick Nunn, 4,800 if Jimmy Butler is out. He's just too cheap. Depending on how ownership goes, if Butler is out and Nunn does play, I'll see if I want to play Nunn or Dragic. Definitely if you want to play both, don't have a problem with that, but I prefer to just play one in tournaments or maybe cash, I don't know, because it is a slow-paced matchup, but they're both really cheap. So Nunn also got to make sure to keep an eye on his status. Now on to shooting guard, Drew Holiday, 8,200. I don't know why it's like a glitch up there, but Holiday's 8,200 against the Kings. Lonzo Ball's been handling a lot more, but Drew certainly, he's gonna be the main ball handler in crunch time because of like his scoring ability and like his free throws a lot better than Lonzo. But again, Drew, fantastic defender. He's also someone that can get a lot of stats other than just scoring. The price is up there at 8,200, but again, it's a very good matchup against the Kings. Their defense is not that great, and also they've been playing faster ever since De'Aaron Fox has been healthy. So Drew Holiday in play, and then Donovan Mitchell 7,300. He does seem a little bit cheap. I would say that this is a spot that we could see Mitchell chuck up 20 plus shots. There are some games where he just shoots a lot, and it's not only like because Conley or Ingles or someone's hurt. There are just certain games like we've seen in the past seasons that he just becomes the number one option. He already is again, but he just shoots a lot. Like he's really aggressive out there, and this could be a spot. OKC, um, this could be a very good game because they are very close in the standings. I think they're fourth and fifth right now, and so if OKC wins this game, which I think they definitely could, this is very important. So I would expect all these stars to play, maybe pick up a few extra minutes, and in important games, the Jazz do let Donovan Mitchell take over. So Mitchell as a tournament option, definitely like him. And then on the other side, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, 6,300. He is expected to play here. He only missed, I think, one game, so his minutes should be perfectly fine here, playing mid to upper 30s, and he's been phenomenal, most improved player candidate. Utah, they're a tough defense, but it hasn't been the same, just like the Nuggets this year. So he's too cheap, 6,300. He should be in the 7Ks. So you're getting a discount here in a very important game. He can certainly play big minutes if he's not limited. And then other guys, Buddy Hield, his minutes are very volatile. It seems like there's a cap though. At like 25. I shouldn't say volatile. I guess I should say like they're limited. Again, very good matchup for the Kings like Fox, but Buddy, I don't know if he closes or not because Luke Walton for some reason just does not like this guy, and Buddy Hield is clearly their best shooter and the second best player on the team, probably, if I'm not forgetting anyone, next to Fox. And this is a very good matchup for any team. And he's 5,400. He's too cheap. Even if he plays his limited 25 minutes, he's put up like 6x multiple times. So definitely there's a possibility that he can get a few extra minutes if he's playing well, which this is definitely a spot that he can be because of the Pelicans and their defense. So we know he's just a terrific shooter. He's going to be able to score the ball. That's what he does. And if he plays well, he should be able to pick up some extra minutes. Josh Richardson, guy to keep an eye on if he's limited or not. He did miss a little bit of time, so maybe he's not limited then. But just if like Joel Embiid's out, then there's going to be more usage. Ben Simmons is still out, so there's going to be some ball handling opportunities for Jay Rich. And Bogdan Bogdanovic, 5,100. He gets more minutes than Buddy, but obviously he's not that great of a shooter. He definitely is a better playmaker. So if you're looking for maybe like a better floor, he can get you assists. But he's also a guy that we don't really know what his minutes are like. Just looking at his game log, that's just how he is. That's kind of how it is for everyone except Fox and Harrison Barnes. So just another guy to consider because it is against the Pelicans. And then last guy I'm going to talk about is Jordan McRae, 4,100. Pistons don't have anyone, so if they want to score, if they're close, Jordan McRae definitely is going to be someone that can do that. He shot really poorly recently, but when he was on the Wizards, like when Bradley Beal, John Wall were out, if you weren't playing at the time, it was only Jordan McRae and then Troy Brown pretty much doing everything, and then there's Ish Smith. And McRae is a guy that has that kind of upside. He's a very talented scorer. He's not like a good defender. He's not known for anything else, but McRae, he's just someone that if there's no good value on this league can go to at 4,100. Now on to small forward Brandon Ingram, 8K against the Kings. Tournament option though, but still Kings, their pace is pretty good. And the Pelicans, their stars are just playing heavy minutes, so 8K for Ingram still definitely a good option. And then with Porzingis out, Tim Hardaway Jr. or Porzingis expected to be out rather. JJ 6,300 against the Nuggets. He's gonna get more shots. Obviously, Luka is still gonna be there, or he should be at least. But Tim Hardaway should play heavy minutes in the 30s, especially if Seth Curry is out again, and he's gonna get a lot of shots up. So Denver again, not that great of a defense anymore. Definitely need to consider him if Porzingis were to sit out. And then Bruce Brown, he is questionable. It is a tough matchup, but without just all the guys again for Detroit, there's definitely an upside. He's also one of those players that just does a little bit of everything. So consider him for tournaments if he does end up playing. And then Harrison Barnes. If you're looking for a cash play, I think Harrison Barnes is going to be the guy. Usually it's like Danilo Gallinari, but I would say you can get the same kind of floor with a guy like Barnes because of the matchup here. It's a way better matchup for Barnes, and if it loads, he's 5K. He's been getting like at least 30 minutes for a lot of games, and Luke Walton hasn't been like yanking him at all when the Kings are playing bad. He usually stays on the court. Usually it's like Bogdan or whoever starts at center. So Barnes, he's been playing pretty well, and he also is someone that does a little bit of everything. So he's not just about scoring, and he's 5K in a fantastic matchup. He's probably going to be popular, but still good pick. And then Josh Hart is 4,200 against the Kings. His minutes are not consistent at all. Last time he shot really poorly. Definitely don't expect him to miss every single shot that he takes. But if there's like any foul trouble, he's gonna be the first guy off the bench, unless it's like there. It could actually still be him if it was Favors who got foul trouble, or maybe there's an injury in the starting rotation. Josh Hart is basically a six man right now with JJ Redick out. He's gonna get minutes usually in the 20s, and he's a very good rebounder. He also plays like he's pretty active on D, so he'll get you steals and blocks as well. But if he shoots well, you get one of those good scoring games. He definitely can have the potential to put up 10x. Now on to power forward Tobias Harris. Only in play if Joel Embiid is out. If he's limited, I still don't want to play Tobias because how much usage Embiid's going to take up. If Embiid does remain out, I'm going to like Tobias still. Even with Jay Rich in, Jay Rich isn't someone that's going to have a massive usage rate. Tobias is still going to be the guy here. Very good match against the Pistons. If it is going to be a blowout, I definitely do expect Tobias to be having a good game. So I'm not too scared about that. Price is certainly high, but 8,500, I would say it's still a good price though. It's just elevated because we're not used to seeing him here. But with all the injuries, Tobias definitely deserves this, and he still has a very good upside of 50 plus DraftKings points, which would definitely make him a good play. And then again with the Knicks, Julius Randle, just like Alfred Payne. The Knicks rotation just was a mess, as I mentioned. The stars just didn't play well, so that's why the bench played a lot more. Randle also got into foul trouble, so it's just a whole new game. Probably people are going to be looking at recency bias, and that's when you play Randle. You play guys like this that failed last time. People don't want to go back, but this is a very good matchup for Randle and all the Knicks. So 7,800, too cheap. Randle should be like 8K at least, 8,500 probably against the Hawks. And then Paul Millsap. I want to talk about this for the Nuggets here. Last game, Paul Millsap put up a ceiling game pretty much. He only played 21 minutes, but if you watch that game, the Bucks are playing basically a zone defense. I think they were playing 2-3, and they were just leaving a lot of guys open for three. Like if you look at the box score for the Nuggets, I'm pretty sure they've shot a crazy amount of threes. They were just pretty much letting them shoot. They were protecting the paint a lot. That's also why like Jokic didn't play that well. Millsap, a lot of these guys were just having really solid games. So that's why you see Millsap taking 15 shots. Definitely don't expect that. But I do want to mention though, against the Mavericks, last time they faced off, Millsap I think he played 31 minutes. Jeremy Grant didn't play that many, but also that was with Porzingis in. So if Porzingis were to rest, maybe they don't need Millsap as much, but he's still definitely an option because he is still pretty affordable by 5,100. Just know that he's a very like volatile player. He can have a single digit ceiling or floor and then have like a 40-point ceiling. And then PJ Washington 5K. It's gonna be like Miles Bridges, 51 and 5K, both of them. Tough matchup again with all the rest of the Hornets, but recency bias, rotations, a lot of number of factors. Bridges, he shot terribly, and then Caleb Martin was like not missing, and so they pretty much just let Martin play, Caleb Martin play, and Bridges, Washington, they both sat on the bench. The Martin brothers got the play along with Biyombo and Rozier and Graham. And PJ Washington was in heavy foul trouble. He got 3 fouls in the first quarter, and obviously when you're in that kind of situation, you just never get your rhythm going. And so Bridges and PJ Washington both have the upside to play 30 plus minutes. If they're playing well, not in foul trouble, they're definitely capable of putting up 40 DraftKings points apiece. So they're tournament options only, but on like a short slate like 6 games, you definitely want to consider them though. And also, again, with the ownership type of thing, 3 games the last time, everyone pretty much rostered them and they busted. So you're not going to get that kind of popularity now. And then going to be a very popular play on the slate is going to be Maxi Kleber if Kristaps Porzingis is out. Kleber plays massive minutes, especially with Porzingis out, and he plays solid defense. That's what his role is: rebound, knock down the open shots, and they're gonna need his defense out there certainly. Maybe they play someone else at center and they start him at power forward because of Jokic. But I mean, if you start Boban, it's gonna be tough. Like you can run pick and roll with Murray and Jokic, and you're just gonna destroy Boban. And then Jokic also can stretch the floor, so it could be a matchup where they go with Boban, but I'm not sure about that. I would expect that they don't, but just there's a small chance it does happen. And then Willie Cauley-Stein has an illness, so maybe he's out as well. If he's in, possible that he could start to match up, but Maxi Kleber, regardless, he should see easily 30s in minutes, and if he starts, we can see him getting close to 40, especially if he's able to stay out of foul trouble. He's someone that has 40-point ceiling. He's 4,600. Anytime he's under 5K, especially if Porzingis is out, I'm going to be interested in him, and he's always going to be popular, but he's just always going to be a good play because of those kind of minutes. And then Dorian Finney-Smith, more tournament, definitely go with Kleber over DFS, but he's 4,400. He's someone that doesn't hit those ceiling games as much as Kleber, but he usually is going to play heavy minutes as well. So definitely need to consider DFS if Porzingis is out because it is a short slate again. And then lastly, on to center. Bam Adebayo is 9K. He's going to be in play if Jimmy Butler is out. Very good matchup for him. Slow pace, but if Butler is out, I think that definitely mitigates that. He's 9K. So it doesn't feel like it's going to be a core play if Butler is out because you're going to need him to put up a monster game. But just he deserves a mention because just know that he's going to be in my player pool if Jimmy Butler does in fact miss this game. And then Rudy Gobert, this is something that I want to talk about. The way that Steven Adams has been able to handle Rudy Gobert has been pretty solid. Adams has played really well against him in the past, and Gobert, if you look at his usage, it has decreased a lot. Like, I think it's been like 18% maybe. He's always never been a high usage player, but you get doubles out of him, and then obviously shot blocking. But his usage, I think, just dropped into the single digits. It's like Pat Beverly, and I mean, that's definitely not good, but also you look at his price, it's down now to 7,500. This guy usually is going to pretty much get you a double-double like every single game, and there's definitely not a concern about minutes because it doesn't matter what the matchup is. Gobert's going to play as usual 30s in minutes, mid to high 30s, and this is a very important game for seeding, so I expect Gobert to probably just solidify his minutes, and he's still going to be in play because of just the kind of ceiling that he has, 50-point ceiling. So Gobert still going to be in play, but just know that Steven Adams also is going to be in play. And then Al Horford 7,400 if Joel Embiid is out. If Embiid's in, just avoid Al Horford at all costs. He's way too expensive then. But if Embiid is out, Horford's still going to be in play because he's 7,400 against the Pistons. Very good matchup there, and he just picks up so much more of a role offensively. And then now Steven Adams, 5,600. He's too cheap. Nerlens Noel can definitely handle, or he can definitely match up as well with Rudy Gobert. But Adams, if he can play as usual, or I don't want to say usual because it's been more closer to a timeshare this season. But if he picks up like a few more minutes because of foul trouble, one way or the other, he's too cheap at 5,600. They're going to need him to match up against Adams or to Gobert. And Adams also is a guy that can get you a double-double, get you steals and blocks. So he's someone that I will consider in tournaments. And then Bismack Biyombo, 4K if you need to go down here because he at 4K, he's basically splitting minutes with Cody Zeller. So 4,700, 4K, I'd rather play the cheaper option. Obviously, that could not be the case. The Hornets, they are in pretty much evaluation mode, but he's had a lot of knee injuries in the past, so he's never going to play big minutes, and if there's foul trouble, especially that could happen here, with Zeller matching up against Biyombo, or matching up against Adebayo. And so Biyombo could get more minutes. I don't really think they can play small PJ Washington at center here with Bam. So I expect Biyombo to get like at least 20 minutes there. Hernan Gomez is supposed to be inactive still for the next 4 to 6 games now. So Biyombo in play as value. And then other guys, Nerlens Noel, 3,400. You're playing him if you think Steven Adams gets into foul trouble, gets hurt, or for some reason. Definitely set a group there if you're going to play Noel, though. And then Thon Maker, 3,100. John Henson is going to be out, so Thon Maker could potentially be picking up a start. It's not going to be good if Joel Embiid is back, but you're still getting a starter who can play like 20 minutes that is near minimum. So for a 6-game slate, if there's no other good value, Thon Maker, you have to consider him because he's only 3,100. But now overall on the slate, it's going to be Luka because Porzingis should be out, and that's going to mean Maxi Kleber as well. And then Julius Randle, or that's not Randle. And then Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Harrison Barnes as my top 5 plays for the slate. So thank you guys for watching. If you guys enjoyed the video, please leave a like for it. Also, if you have any questions, you can comment down below, or you can also find me on Twitter at me at Bobfuls. Link will be in the description. So good luck on this slate. Thank you guys again for watching, and bye.